test. Okay, good. All right. All right. We are live. Whew. I'm like really nervous, you guys. But welcome everybody to Go Fix Your OC Yourself. This is this is a stream where I take characters from you guys and I teach you the basics of character design. That means shape language, that means color theory, that means accessory design, all that good stuff to optimize your characters and make sure that they really stand out from the crowd and really convey the message that you are trying to communicate to whoever you're trying to show your character to. Just as a heads up, the chat is going to be a lot more delayed than what I am used to with it being on YouTube, but we will make do. I do have both characters here all set to go. I've already announced them on Twitter. I have Devon Royal and Stardust Shimmer that I'm going to be critiquing today. If you guys are in the chat, like put up a thumbs up or, just say hi in the chat or whatever. Just let me know that you're there and we can really get started. All right. So, oh my goodness. And of course, the one thing I didn't check to make sure that was working was my tablet. Give me just a second to fix that really quick. Okay, there we go. All done. Okay, so first of all, we have Devon Royal here. I'm sure you guys recognize this guy. He is on the Brony D&D fan server. I've seen him around a lot, actually. He's been a longtime follower of mine on Twitter. And he has been asking me to critique his character for a long time, and I just haven't gotten to it, unfortunately. Let's see here. Let's put down live chat, shall we? Something. Okay. Ooh, everybody's quiet today. All right. So, first things first, we are going to talk about with Devon Royal is color theory. Now, everybody gets really confused about color theory. They hear all these terms like analogous, contrasting, complementary, and it's like, what the heck is, what in the world do all of those mean? And I'm going to show you really quick here. All right. Oops. All right, so I'm going to bring this up for you really fast. Okay, so this is a color wheel. The color wheel is going to teach you, it's going to show you where all of the colors fall, and it's going to help you determine what's complementary and what might be, clash. What might clash. So, when you go with a contrasting color, that means that on the color wheel, you have opposites. So in the case of blue, orange would be its contrasting color. In the case of green, it would be red, and with purple, it would be yellow, etc., etc. Then you have tertiary, which means that the colors form a triangle onto the wheel. And somebody, I think that would be a good example of this, would be Fluttershy's design. We'll get into that later. But it has a lot of really good options there as well. What you want to avoid, however, when you're designing a character, the biggest issue I'm seeing here is the matter of saturation, and the hair and the body both have almost the exact same saturation, and that is kind of an issue when it comes to design, because when the eye looks at it, it just all blends together and it kind of smushes and it's not very defined. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to give him a quick pose, really fast here. And he looks like a little spunky little guy. Pardon me while I get this down. So we're going to kind of give him a little bit of a spunky pose here. And no, I'm not going to go into all kinds of detail because the idea here is not to critique an artist's ability. It is to critique the design itself. So making sure that your colors are good, that your shape language is coming across, and I'll get into shape language a little bit more later on. We're just gonna kind of give him a simple little drawing here. There we go. And he is a unicorn, so we're gonna give him a little horn. Really fast. And these will be finished off screen, of course, for the people who won these because you guys won these. They are for you. Okay. Widen this up a little bit. And of course the arms, or the forelegs, of course. All right, how is everybody? Like, nobody's commenting or anything in the chat. I'm not sure if I just can't see it or if it's not allowed. I'm not sure. But I want this to be as interactive as possible. Okay, so we're going to clean this up really quick. So y'all can see him, actually. And again, this is not going to be the cleanest in the world. Because we want to be able to do both characters within 1 hour. Just realized that I am currently competing with freaking lightning bliss. So, you know, I'm not intimidated at all. Okay, so we have all this going right here. We're going to give him his hair. All right, so something else that I did notice about his character, about his design. Again, I can tell he's a little spunky because he has a determined expression on his face. The problem is that none of the rest of his shape language, which I will explain what that is in a moment, tells me what his personality is. So it just kind of looks like he's trying to make music. I don't really know if he's like more of a classical, more of a rock star, more of, I'm not sure what kind of music this is. But we can communicate that with his shape language. Now, shape language is what is used to convey an idea visually. So, we're going to grow this a little bit more. There we go. So, for example, should I want a bouncy, happy, fun-loving character, I'm going to use circles. Circles are cute. You want big eyes, you go for circles. You want innocence, lots of circles. You want chubby, circles, 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 circles. That's what you want. Now, if your character is more on the rebellious side, actually, let's describe the other one first. If your character is more stubborn, they're more set in their ways. Let's see here. They have very set moral code that they stand for. You're going to use squares. Oh, and my tablet has just decided to stop working with the pressure sensitivity. That's okay. We'll work through it. Oh, and it goes back. So you want squares. Squares, they are immovable. You're not going to, you know, roll a square very easily, honestly. So they're very steadfast. They're very correct because of all of the right angles. It's how you can remember that. So if you want a character who is more sturdy, who's more reliable, who's might even be stubborn, you want squares. Square, you can go with, like, for example, Anger from Inside Out is a square. Like, he is such a square that I could draw him just like that. Because he is set in his ways, he is not moving, he is a square. Superman, also a square. Because he has that big billowing cape behind him, and he has a square looking chest, and he's always standing like that, like strong and straight and true. So Superman is a square. I'm just going to switch that over to my eraser, and that'll be a lot faster. Circles. Let's see here. Lots of circles. There are a lot of circle characters. I think virtually anybody could be a circle character. My Little Pony, for example, uses a lot of circles. Like, they have the cute little muzzles, and their heads are circles, and their ears are really rounded out, and their eyes are like big and circular. They're meant to be cute, they're meant to be relatable, they're meant to be appealing to the eyes. Now, let's say your character is more rebellious or more active or more, might even be a little bit villainous. That's when you want to do a triangle. But triangle is really tricky because you have to know how to use it. So let's say they're very angry. You use triangular eyes. That looks pretty dang evil, don't you think? Yeah. So there's a triangle there. Or you have somebody like Spider-Man who's like really, really active. They're going to have their leg out like this and out like that. I mean, you see this pose in Spider-Man all the time. Am I right? It's a triangle. So a triangle is going to convey it's a very active shape. It's going to convey a lot of activity. It's going to convey a lot of strangeness because you don't see triangles a lot in nature. It's a little bit more alien and a little bit more unfriendly. Depending on how you use it. And the last shape is the S-curve. The S-curve is very feminine, it's very flowing, it's very soft. Fluttershy, for example, is a very good example of this with her hair. So, there are the 4 shapes that you're going to be using when I talk about shape language. Now, going back to Devin Royal's design here, what I see is there's some square going on, but it's kind of mixed with a triangle. There's no bangs anywhere. I'm not entirely certain what's going on there. And the tail's kind of... No, I want to say this nicely. I don't want to be like too blunt with you guys. It's kind of just there. It's not, it doesn't really have a purpose. It looks like it was just kind of set on his head and forgotten. So we're going to bring a little bit more purpose into this. I did see another reference, and I didn't really have time to go and download it and get it out for you guys. But he is playing an electric guitar, and he looks really rebellious about it. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit more triangular features. Oh my goodness! Hey, the chat's working now. Yay for that. Okay. Sorry if you guys have had so many questions. My goodness gracious. All right. Oh, come here, little mouse. There we go. All right. So this is what we're going to do with his hair. I'm going to add a little bit more triangularity to it. So, but I don't want to mess it up so much to where we lose the character itself. I have made that mistake before. Let's see here. Let's bring him up here. Okay. And I hope I'm not going too fast for you guys. We'll have a chance to kind of redo this again soon. Okay, so I'm going to add a little bit more triangular features to him. We're going to make sure that his hair, his mane and tail don't just appear like they're just out of nowhere. They actually fit on his head. And we're going to make it a little bit messier because messy is rebellious. I'm going to add more triangles too. But you guys can tell almost instantly how big of a difference there is. Can you guys see the reference there? Yes, you can. Okay, good. So you can tell already that there's a pretty big difference. I'm going to clean this up a little bit more so you guys can definitely tell and you aren't all confused like, oh, the scribbles. I can't tell what the heck the scribbles are supposed to be doing. Okay. And I beg your pardon, I'm getting over a cold. Okay, so there we have it. Not quite so still anymore. He has a lot more movement. However, were I to, let's say, if I were to say make him a square, I would probably go more like this. And it would be a lot more still. Oop, that's more of a triangle there. It would be a lot more still. He'd look kind of like Mudbriar, let's be honest. Or if he were a circle, I would make his hair more floofy, like so. And it'd give him a lot more energy, a lot more pizzazz, and make him a lot more friendly. So those are the options there. Now with the tail, I want it to be more purposeful. It looks like he has some triangle in there already, but I want it to be more apparent. So we're going to kind of add this, make it more star-like, and the further you bring the hair away from the body, the more energy it's going to give the character. Just like that. Okay, so now that we have his shapes down, now the trick with ponies is that they all have the same, essentially the same body types. And the way you can convey your pony's personality, the best way you can do that is through the mane and the tail. They're going to definitely cover all of those bases for you. And then of course you also have the colors, which is exactly what we are going to go to next. All right, so now that we have that, we're going to come up with a good color scheme really fast. And of course I'm using coolers.com because it's amazing. And I'm going to come up with a good color scheme for him. It looks like he wants to go with kind of a pale, ooh, I kind of like this actually. But you see here how different that is. And let me bring this up here and show you guys. Okay, so with the contrast here, you can see the pink and you can see the kind of, it looks kind of yellowish white, I think. Not entirely certain. But it's the same saturation, and when you have the same saturation, it blends together and it kind of just becomes a big muddy mess. But if I were to clean up the white, we could still keep the same general color scheme. But if you clean it up and you just adjust the saturation just a smidgen, it makes a night and day difference. So we still have his pink here. And I'm just cleaning up his white. And let's see, let's lock that in. I like that. And it looks like he has a little bit of yellow too. So we're gonna kind of remove these. Now with, oh, whoops. Let's add a color. Where do we do that? That was my bad. There we go. Okay, yay. Yay for that. Now the trick with color, with character design is you want to stick to maybe 3 or 4 colors tops. Keep things simple. That's not, okay, good. All right, let's see what we can do. So we got this yellow. That's a decent yellow, but it kind of blends in a little too much. I would like to go with something darker and richer. That might work. That's more orange though. Let's see here. Something that's really going to pop. See, that other color was almost the same saturation as the pink and it kind of glared. That's clashing. It's no fun at all. Let's see here. We got a tea green. That might work. I don't think it's going to draw the attention to the eyes is the problem. Because what you want here is you want the eyes to be more, you want them to really pop. They're just going to be the main thing that you are focused on this character's face. So you want them to be bold and bright and really bring all the attention to the face. Let's see, the orange might be good. Maximum yellow red. That kind of blends a little too much, I think. This is always the trickiest part, I gotta say. All right, I wish I'd be able to see all the chat, because I think he might be in the chat and I'd be able to ask him what the heck. Be like, what's your preference? Because honestly, I'm thinking actually that either a blue or a green is going to be a lot better for him. Because again, you have the color wheel. And it's a lot easier to contrast pink with something that is contrasting rather than, say, something that's analogous, like over here. Analogous is going to be the colors that are next to each color on the color wheel. So if you have something that's next to it, it's going to blend in a little bit more. It's going to be a lot more subtle, so you have to be a lot more careful about the saturation and such. Like this would be fine if it was markings or anything like that, but it's something that you want to pop. You need to go more like this, like contrasting. Let's see here. We got a blue. I want a green, I think. Not that kind of green. I want poppin' green. Not quite. Not quite that poppin'. Let's see. Always the trickiest part. Always, always, always. Ooh, now that I like. All right, so we're going to export this, get it all set to go. I said export, thank you. Devon Royal. All right, save. Okay, so now we're going to bring that out as the reference and color it in really quick. I'll show you guys what it means, what it, the difference it does. Nope, not convention. There we go. You can tell I'm a little nervous, right? My goodness. Okay, there we go. Okay, what I should have done is something different. Okay, no, I'm going to focus. Okay, here we go. Okay, so this is what the coloration is that I have in mind currently. You have the thistle, it looks like. That is his normal everyday color. That's his main coloration. We don't want to change it too much. And if I were actually drawing this as a commission, I would shrink his neck a little bit. The anatomy is bugging me, but that's okay. That's a-okay. We're not focused on that right now. Okay. All right, so we're going to color in his legs. Good. Okay, now we're going to focus on his mane and tail. And you'll see how crisp and clear this white is once I give it a good background. Ooh. Just kind of add it in. Let's give it a darker background so you guys can see that. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about here. I'm gonna kind of erase that so that we can see his horn. There we go, that's better. And I'm gonna add a little bit of a blue here. All right, and then I'm going to show you guys how much these eyes pop when you pick a good contrasting color. You don't want something that's too analogous. You want something that's bright and powerful. And that just warms his whole face up, doesn't it? I mean, look at that. Boom. Eyes. Ta-da! That's a little bit tricky to do with yellow and pink. Okay, so now that we have that down, I'm going to show you guys what the previous colorations were. And you guys can be able to see what the difference is. Let's see here. Oh my goodness. Having a brain fart. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna grab his old colors here. Okay, so this is the old yellow stuff that he had before. Hey! The chat updated. Oh my goodness. I don't know what the heck's going on with it, but like it's not working on my end for some reason, which makes me sad because I want to interact with you guys. Okay. So we have that, and then we have the color of his eyes here, which is like a yellow. That's a very bright yellow. Just like so. Add another layer. Okay. Okay. So, I mean, already you guys can tell that the shape language is totally coming through, which is awesome. I'm going to, let's see here. Let's duplicate this. And duplicate this too. Okay, I'm gonna make sure that I can show you guys. Merge up. Merge. Okay. My goodness gracious. All right, merge that. Oh dear. I don't know which layer is which. Okay. Essentially, all I'm saying. That's previous. This is current. But you see how the blue just kind of pops out and really makes it just all come together here. Let's see here. And the yellow, it's a little bit warmer, and it's possible if, say, we added the white, but it would still kind of blend in because it's analogous instead of contrasting. So either a good green is what I'd recommend, or a nice blue. And Devon Royal, if you want, you can totally play with coolers. Contact me, let me know what you prefer, and we'll move on to yours. And I'll finish this up. Okay. Next one, I'm gonna draw really fast. Whoops, that's not the right pen. Okay, next one is Stardust Shimmer. Which, whenever I hear her name, I think it was based off of Starlight. It could have been, I'm not sure. But I love Stardust. She's awesome. She's a good friend. We met at BronyCon. Really, really awesome person. Fellow mom like me. Yay. Brony moms unite. Okay. You get the eyes going. Again, we don't need this perfect yet. I'll be posting these onto Twitter. Okay, and Starlight's Shimmer. Again, we were talking about shape language. Starlight Shimmer is definitely an S curve. I'll show you guys her design. Just a moment. Let's see here. There she is. This is Stardust Shimmer. Now she is definitely an S curve. You can just kind of tell by the S curve in the manes, the tail, just kind of her sweet little look there. The paw prints is usually a giveaway for an S curve kind of character. Just somebody who loves animals and somebody who's sweet and kind and adorable. I kind of do this. Bring her shoulders over. All right, and around like that. Okay. Again, we don't want this, don't need it perfect, just need a base to work with. Okay, that's looking pretty good, I think. Y'all can laugh at my rushed artwork later. Okay, there we go, that's better. Okay, so we're going to clarify her. Now again, I am seeing similar issues in that the mane and the tail are both, they're too close to the body. Like it's covering her eyes, which might be on purpose, that's fine. It's covering the eyes, it's kind of curving towards the face, but it's very still. It doesn't show a lot of movement, which is a little more, it's sending contrasting messages. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to give it a little bit more movement, a little bit more floof, but I'm going to try and keep the character's feel. So what I want to do, because this covers up her eyes, I want to make sure it's apparent that it's on purpose. So we're going to really exaggerate that. Exaggeration is a huge part of character design. So if you're going to do something, do it big. The bigger the exaggeration, the more noticeable it's going to be, and the easier your character is going to be to read. There we go, just like that. And clean up the horn. Alright, and then we're going to kind of curve this over here too. Now when you do swirls and such, you want to make sure that the swirl comes back and points back to the face. Because if it points away from the character, like say here, how it's pointing off into here, it takes the eyes and it's like, oh, I'm looking over here now. Or, oh, I'm looking over here or over here. You want to curl it and bring it back to the face. That's why Fluttershy's mane works so well, is because it does swoop down, but the curl comes back and it points back to her face. So that's what I'm adding here. And here, just like that. And that's going to bring more attention back to the face rather than off into the distance. Just like that. All right, and then we're going to come back here, and again, the curl comes back to the face. And you want more movement, so you keep it away from the butt or rear end. Just like that. And that shows a pretty dang shy character. I think I covered a little too much of her face, if I'm honest here. Let's bring her muzzle back, I think. Yeah, that's better. She isn't Carmen Sandiego. There we go, that's much better. Okay, and that's how you can keep the stillness in the curves, because your character might be pretty still. Like, they're not very active, they're not very hyper, but you still have a lot of movement. It's a lot of flow, and it just feels comfy. It's a really comforting, cute feeling. Just keep it poofy, make sure that the curves come back to the face, and you're golden. All right, so now what we're going to do with the colors, let's make sure I bring up her reference. All right, there she is. All right, we're gonna bring up coolers, bring up her coloration, and her reference, that one. Around over here, okay. So I've already gotten her violet selected here. And we are going to, let's see, you have like 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, we got like 5 colors here. We got to cut it down to maybe, I'm going to give it 4. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, just like that. X out of that. Okay. So we want, what, like a darker purple, a blue. Lavender's cute, but it might blend in. No, I don't think that blue works. There we go. That's a good purple right there. Beautiful. And I like this pink. This pink is really cute too. Let's get that blue. A sky blue might work very nicely. Bright enough to contrast. Yeah, let's do it. All right, export. All right, and this is for Stardust. Check. All right. New reference. Oh wait, before we do that, dude, I'm going to have a layer that's going to have her previous colors, so you guys can see the difference here. This is going to be her body. I do try to stick faithful to the character without going overboard. I'm just trying to tweak them and make sure that, give them kind of a glow up. Okay, so this is for the original colors. And again, you can already tell that the shape language is making a huge difference. Difference. I swear I can talk. My goodness gracious. Around over here. Okay. And on top is the blue. Just like that. Merge all of that. And then we got some eyes. What do you know? Got eyes. Whoops. There we go. And whoop, the purple on the eyes. Okay. So there's what we have right now. And we are going to show what she can be. I'm so glad you guys are active in this chat. Look at this. My computer finally caught up to you guys. I'm so excited. Okay, so we're still going to keep her body the same color. Same color. All right, we're gonna bring that up a little bit more. I'm not gonna spend an hour coloring. I want to show you guys already. Okay, so there's her body. Now, with her hair, again, what do we want next to the face is contrast. Contrast. So I'm actually going to flip around where the blue is. Before, you could see that the blue was in the middle and the purple was next to the pink. And that is causing a lot of misdirection. It's bringing everybody's eyes to her hair, like everywhere but her eyes. We don't want that. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take the blue and I'm going to put it, there we go. I'm going to put it next to her face. And I'm going to make the blue the main part of her hair. Like so. All right, and then we're going to add the purple. Oh, whoops. I say what I'm going to do and then I don't do it. We're going to add the purple here. That's going to add a lot more contrast around the face, but you see how it frames it so nicely? I might even like go all the way and just put blue streaks closest to where her face is and just kind of move the blue streaks a little bit that way. Let's see, let's erase just a smidgen. Whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. There we go. More like this. There we go. Clarify that a little bit better for you guys. But you see how nicely that frames her face? It's beautiful. I love it. Okay, so now that we have her body and her hair, we're going to take a look at her eyes. And again, eyes are the windows to the soul. Try to see if there's any questions. Talking about, oh, okay. And actually what I was thinking about was instead of the purple that she had before, I'm actually going to do this bright pink because pink is a lot more contrasting. Now, another option, if you didn't like the pink, is to make them the same purple as the hair. And that creates more consistency. Although it gives it a lot, it makes you very, very close to Starlight Glimmer. So it depends on how original you want to be. Either you can go with the pink or you can go with the purple. The purple might be more harmonious, if I'm honest. Or what you really could do if you really wanted to be crazy about it is just kind of like double it up. And make like a whole pink to purple gradient. Again, you want the warmer colors at the top and the cooler colors at the bottom. Kind of keep the attention all there. So that's one option too. What would you say was your most complex OC to design? Punk the Amp Wave. If you guys have looked up or seen Punk the Amp Wave, it was insane. She's like craziness. Let's see here. This is Stardust Shimmer. Excellent. All right. Also, what would help harmonize everything here is to just kind of make sure that the cutie mark, are you going to listen? Oh, I have blur on. Okay, that makes sense. Have the cutie mark about the same color as your eye. And that's going to bring all that harmony back in. Did you see that? How it just kind of wraps it all together? I love it. Love it so much. Also, never, ever, ever, ever use straight black or straight white on your character design. And I will show you exactly why. Now, you see this black here. The black is a very strong color. It's going to take all of your attention to the cutie mark. Nobody's going to look at the face. Nobody's going to look at anything but the cutie mark. Also, with the black here and the black outline and the black inside, nobody can tell exactly what the heck is on her neck. I can tell it's a paw print if I like stare at it for a long time, but it's really difficult to tell when just off a glance. And you want to be able to, for people to see your character and recognize them like that. And if they have to sit there and stare at it a long time and double check and make sure your message isn't coming across properly. So if we're going to change her accessory here, what I would do personally is I'd probably bring this pink again, because I love pink. I love pink. It's awesome. And then we're going to kind of go like this. And you can give it all kinds of accessories and such. Let's see, and give it a good outline. Bring that darker, bring this smaller. Oops. Probably not a good idea to be using my blending pen for this, to be honest, but that's okay. All right. All right, so you can definitely tell what that is, right? More or less speaking, this is a very general thing. So don't use straight black in your designs or straight white. They're both very strong colors and they will completely take over your character. Yes, you can get gray to be very dark, almost black, and you can get the same feel. However, what I prefer to do, honestly, is I would grab one of these darker colors here. You can see on the screen where it looks almost black, but you can add warmth to it or coolness to it depending upon what kind of mood or feel you want for your image. So if you're down here, you're pretty safe. You got a pretty strong black color. Looks almost black, but it adds a softness and it adds more warmth or coolness, depending on what mood you want. Because if you just go straight gray, it becomes very bland. People think it's black. Yeah. So I would go with like one of the really, really dark colors instead. You can have any kind of color. I could bring that to blue. You could bring it to yellow. This is actually one of my favorite blacks, is called Rich Black, and it's like a yellow base. Love it. It's so cool. Even Rarity, who seems like her coat is pure white, has a slightly bluish periwinkle tinge to her fur. That is correct. Is there a good way to use black? Because my OC is black and silver. Yes, there is a good way to use black. Just grab a really dark color, like, again, like the Rich Black that I really like to use. But determine like what you really want to convey with your character. Are they dark and edgy? Are they misunderstood? Are they actually really friendly, but everybody thinks that they're dark and edgy? You gotta be able to convey the message that you're wanting to get across to your character. Marshmallow color. Nightmare Moon uses pure black on her body with blue outlines, so I'm sure black is usable if you're careful. Yes, if you use lighter outlines, you can use black. You just want to be careful, again, really study and learn how to use it properly. Because if you don't know how to use it properly, it's going to bring the wrong kind of message, and it's going to be really hard to read on on paper. So let's say if you wanted to commission an artist and you had a pure black character and you're like, here, draw this character. I want them to be pure black. You are not going to get any kind of shading, any kind of lighting, because, and I'll show you exactly what I mean here. This is pure black here. I'm going to add another layer. Just kind of draw a circle here. All right. Now, if I were to try to add any kind of shading, let's say just like some purple shading here, get the airbrush, it does not pop up at all. And if I were to add any kind of lighting, let's get a good overlay. Actually, we'll go even bolder and say it's an ad. You're going to get that, but it has to be really, really strong. Nothing is really pure black except some scientifically discovered thing. So you can't get any kind of shading, no definition. It's really hard to work with. Same with white. If you wanted straight white on your character and you tried to get any kind of lighting on that, like no way, Jose. Airbrush, it's not appearing, right? Because it's already straight up white. And if you bring your shading on it, it looks super whacked. It just looks purple. It doesn't look natural at all. So, don't use straight white or straight black for your images, except in very rare cases. I think that's wrapping things up. I'm trying to see if there are any questions. My zebra has yellow eyes, so maybe Rich Black might be perfect for her. I'm always a huge advocate for Rich Black. If you have, go grab the hex code for that because it's beautiful. I love it. Let's see here. I love adding blue tinges to any sort of gray, black, or white color. Yes, blue is awesome for that. Hola, guacho. Okay. Let's see here. Learned that about black too. In my first try, the moment tail and hair overlapped, everything disappeared. So some black gray tone turned out better. Yeah, especially if you add color to it, because if you add color to your black, it's just, it's beautiful. It's a symphony. Symphony for the eyes. Let's see here. I am not drawing on a mouse. I am actually using my tablet, my stylus here. Any tips on drawing ponies? Learn your shapes. I would highly recommend studying horse anatomy first before actually trying to draw show style, because the more you understand about equestrian anatomy, the easier it's going to be for you to create really cool poses and really understand what's going on underneath all of the fluff that you are putting into the anatomy of the pony. I'm so glad that you enjoyed this panel. That's awesome, Solus. Let's see here. Very great tips. Definitely going to keep these in mind when redesigning my OC. Thanks so much. No problem. My OC has a black mane and a blue coat. This is a good look, right? Let's see here. Instead of, as long as it's not straight black, especially with blue, I would actually use one of the rich blacks or something more like really, really dark brown almost. Would really warm it up and make it pop more. And it still looks black. Like, I've got a really dark black here, or dark brown here. Oops, that's not the correct layer there. But for all intents and purposes, it looks black, right? That's pretty dang black. But it's going to warm things up and make things really pop, especially if you pair it with blue. You see that? That's gorgeous. My pony Sona is mainly dark blue with light whitish purple hair, but her necklace is black, so I might have to fix that. Yeah, just make sure that you just watch it. Make sure that you are defined, and a good rule of thumb is if you take away all the lines in your artwork and you can't tell what it is, you're gonna have to rethink your colors. So, be careful. Make sure that you don't have to keep all the lines in order for anybody to tell what the heck's going on in your picture. More of a dark gray, not straight black. Again, adding a little bit of warmth to that gray would be absolutely beautiful. Any shape language books you receive? No, I haven't read any shape language books. Most of what I've learned has been from YouTube or Control Paint, which is a great website if you're starting out as an artist. What about having an OC with a gray coat and black and white mane and tail? Would that work? Again, you want to desaturate the black and the white mane and tail as much as possible. Just pick a really light colors that flatter it. Like this looks pretty dang white. And this looks pretty dang black. But neither of them are pure, So keep an eye on it, play around with it, and be open to it not being pure white or black, because it's really hard to visually convey that. I have got to get on to my next panel. Thank you guys so much for joining. I will see you next time. And hopefully, if you guys are into the next panel, it is called What is it called? I forgot what it's called. It's called Why Pinky's Hair Puffs and How MLP's Character Designs Are 20% Cooler. So I hope to see you guys there. Catch you on the flip side. I gotta message Nathan here. You guys are so awesome. Look at all y'all. You're welcome. You are welcome so much.